Marriage is a scam nowadays. Let me tell you why.
Hey
And
people,
especially for
welcome and
Hispanic
welcome back to the channel.
ethnicity,
So in
a
our
lot of
today's
people ask me,
discussion,
you
guys,
should get
is
married.
about
You're 23, you
marriage
should get
is a
married.
scam. Do
Shouldn't
you
you find
think
yourself
it
a
is
girl?
true marriage is a
No,
scam,
fuck that.
or
I am
people
not gonna get married
are
simply
not
for the
being
chance
honest?
of her
Or do you
cheating or
think
her
marriage
leaving
has
me
just
or
been
all that bullshit.
overrated?
And let's say she
Kindly leave
doesn't
your
do that, but
comment
we
in the
get
comment section
divorced
below, and I've put
and
some
she
videos
keeps
together.
40% of what
Let's watch
I
them,
built.
and I'll be
No, I'm
back
good,
to
bro.
leave my own comment
It's
at
a
the end of the
ripoff.
videos.
And
Please
what, for
don't
everlasting
go.
laugh? Marriage is a scam nowadays. Let me tell you why. And especially for Hispanic ethnicity, a lot of people ask me, you should get married. You're 23, you should get married. Shouldn't you find yourself a girl? No, fuck that. I am not gonna get married simply for the chance of her cheating or her leaving me or all that bullshit. And let's say she doesn't do that, but we get divorced and she keeps 40% of what I built. No, I'm good, bro. It's a ripoff. And what, for everlasting laugh? Look, bro, look around you. Love is not gonna get you saved out here. Love is not gonna save your life. Love is not gonna fix your life. You know what's gonna fix your life? God and respect from others. How do you create that? A good foundation of yourself with God and a relationship with God, and build yourself an empire. Simple.
Ladies, if a man gives you a ring and proposes marriage to you, it's because he's done playing the field, he's done trying to get all the ladies, he's maybe balding a little bit, he can't get the ladies anymore, so now he has to settle down. And settling down means finding somebody who's available that likes him enough to put up with his shit, and then he makes you feel special with a ring. He just needs access to a woman's body for the rest of his life. He can't go out and play the field and get the women he used to, so now he'll get married, because marriage is making sure you have it, because it's getting a little scary out there when I can't pick up these ladies, so I better settle down and get married. Marriage for a man is just maintaining access to a lady's body, to making sure they always have access to that, because they need it, because they will go crazy without access to a lady's body. They're extremely borny all the way up until the day they die. Just borny, borny, borny. So marriage is to make sure that you stay and sleep in his bed, and he always has access to a lady's body. He's done trying to find, like, what kind of hot lady I can get that was cool. Now what other kind of hot lady I can get. He can't get the hot women anymore, so he's settling down and getting married to you. It's not an honor. It's not an accomplishment. You're literally just a free Bex worker when you get married. Women, if you're not careful, even the nicest men will take advantage of you, smile in your face, tell you they love you and you're so sweet and so cute. All the while, they're just running game on you. They may even convince themselves that they deeply love you. But if you've been paying the bills your whole entire life, what's going on? There's a guy on here who can't get his shit together if his life depended on it. And every day he tells his wife, bye, have a nice day, while she goes to work. Constantly makes promises to his live streamers here and says, I'm going to get this done today, I'm going to get this done today. Can't get it done for his life. Has never had a successful career because his wife has been paying the bills the whole time. Classic example of when he finally passes away or she's old, that she'll realize that she was with a man who just caused her more stress, was like basically a child. It's probably one of the most toxic things you can be in too, because they're nice and sweet to you to your face. They're not abusive to you because they rely on you financially. But all the while, you're getting warm and fuzzy feelings inside. That's the trade-off. One day you're going to wake up and realize you had a freeloader on your hand. You took care of a grown man child. And you're going to regret it. Women, please see a man's actions, not his words, his kisses, or some lousy flowers. If he's not building a life with you, adding value to it, taking care of himself, helping you out, he doesn't really love you. He's just using you. And one day you're going to have to wake up and realize that, and that's going to be a very sad day.
What's a scam that's become so normalized that we don't even realize it's a scam anymore?
Marriage is a scam. And I'm going to tell you what I mean in a minute. Marriage is a scam because for most people, when you get married, you do not have a clue what you're actually getting yourself into. We're not prepared well enough for when we get married. I know I certainly wasn't given any information. I wasn't told what to expect. I was given like a 30-minute lecture after I was married by my parents. Too late, obviously. But in general, women just are not prepared. They're not prepared enough for what marriage is really like. And maybe there's a good reason for that. Maybe if you told people what marriage was like, they wouldn't want to do it. But what is scary about this is that women who are never married and who don't have a long-term relationship are somehow viewed as broken. They are made to feel like there's something wrong with them, like they've been rejected by the world. And they're given names like spinster. Spinster is a specific word designed for older women who have never been married. Can you imagine there's even a specific word? They're talked about in hushed voices. Oh, she never got married. Yeah, oh, poor thing. They're looked at with pity. People use sentences like, they've been left on the shelf. As if there's something wrong with, not marrying or not having a long-term relation. There's nothing wrong with it. And the important thing, this is really for the single women who feel, this age, I've never been married. All my friends are married. They have kids, blah, blah, blah. All of those thoughts. Because I know a lot of single women go through that. It's for you to understand something. Marriage is not the be-all and end-all. You don't have to be married to be happy. And the truth about it is that if you have an issue with yourself, if you don't love yourself, if you have self-worth issues, self-esteem issues, marriage is not going to fix that. Marriage will not fix that. And in fact, married to the wrong person is going to make that worse. Remember, there are a lot of marriages that are like prison. They're a prison cell. People want to get out, but they can't. They can't get out because finances, because they've got kids, because they've got to think about so many complicated issues. People are trapped in loveless marriages, in marriages that are dysfunctional, toxic, abusive. And I know it's human nature for us to want what we don't have. But I think it's important, if you're single, to understand that there's nothing wrong with you just because you're not married. And actually, you are independent and you can live life on your own terms. So instead of focusing on what you don't have, which is what we tend to do, focus on what you do have, which is independence, freedom, to live your life as you choose, to travel, to do whatever it is that you want to do. Marriage is not the be-all and end-all. It's just one way of living. You don't have to live in the same way as everybody else.
I wouldn't get married, man. You can be loyal to somebody without being married. You can literally do everything you can married, other than a few advantages of taxes and what have you, even if you're not married. That way, if anything happens in the future, you don't have to worry about getting divorced, because that's very costly. It's literally a process I don't wish on anybody. And you have to get the state involved and the authorities involved. Why? Why get married in the first place? Now someone says, Brad, wait a minute, you're married. Yes, I am married. Well, Brad, do you believe it's a mistake? Not so far. Not so far. Ask me in 50 years, or ask me if I die. If I die and I'm still married happily, no, of course not. But I've also been married a couple times. So I thought the same thing on the first one. So guess what? If someone asks me what my real advice is, whether or not they should get married, I would say it's a personal decision, of course, but my advice would be no, not legally. Get married under the eyes of God. Have a ceremony. By all means, get married under the eyes of God. Get married between yourselves. Just don't get married with the state. I think if everybody just started getting married between themselves and under God, life would be a lot better, because there wouldn't be so many divorces and so many problems.
The marriage scam part 2, when your husband goes out and makes more money per hour and then gives you maybe a third of his income to go shopping while you worked longer hours and didn't get paid at all. That sounds fair. The marriage scam is every time you're in bed with a man, he gets to get to the top of the roller coaster ride, and sometimes you don't. That's a scam. The marriage scam is when a man tells you he wants to be a father when really he only wants access to your body. That's a scam. You're getting scammed. The marriage scam is paying much more to keep up your beauty and your appearances and receiving pennies on the dollar while they get to buy a 3-in-1 body bath wash. The marriage scam is when you get married with an actual marriage contract and then you divorce him. He doesn't pay you any alimony. He doesn't pay you child support. And so the contract really doesn't work in the first place at all. Believe it or not, nobody can force a man to pay alimony. You think it's guaranteed? You think once you're divorced, you just get automatic deposits? You're going to have to fight for that. The marriage scam is society telling you that men take care of women. Because they don't. They don't. And they don't protect you either. Unless you got that P-power that they need. The marriage scam is putting in 10 times more labor than a man. And then getting told you did nothing all day. The marriage scam is assuming women want to be a homemaker, like clean the house and cook. Some of us like to organize. Some of us like to cook. But we're not all the same. We're not fucking robots. The marriage scam is making yourself always available to a man in case he wants to marry you. To drop everything on a dime. Your plans, your ballerina Juilliard, your college degree, none of it matters. He needs you to marry him now. The marriage scam is promising yourself to a man because he simply doesn't want anybody else to have access to your body. He needs you to wear a ring at all times to signal to other men, leave me alone. I'm a happily married lady. You're not happily married. You're trapped. You're owned. You're not a free human being. It sounds so hot at first. My man owns me. My man this. My man that. Until you become older and he starts to cheat on you with the secretary and starts to treat you like shit. You want to be owned by that? The marriage scam is putting your life and your health on the line to make a family with a man who tells you he wants to be a father when really he only wants access to your body. And he wants you to keep having babies so that you stay with him, so that you stay down, so that you stay trapped, so that he can feel powerful and in charge.
Marriage is a scam. Relationships are usually great at the start. You're getting to know each other, you're sharing experiences, but then she gets hot feet and wants to know if you're going to marry her. If you like it, then you better put a ring on it. Now the pressure's on, so you go out and spend bags on a diamond ring and book in a venue fit for a queen. You recite your vows about honour and respect through sickness and unhealth, yada yada yada. And a lot of the time it's not even about you two, it's about others. You invite people that you hardly know, family members you haven't seen in years. And most of the time they don't even want to see you happy. They're probably hoping that your marriage fails. Then you go on your honeymoon, just to take more pics for the gram, for more people who don't give a fuck about you. For what? One special day? And now you're in debt by about £30,000. It's a scam! And what's changed? Nothing. The issues you had before the marriage, yep, they're still there. And if you were happy before the marriage, yep, you're still happy. All that's changed is now you've got a legal agreement that if either one of you decide that you no longer want to be in the marriage, you're going to be well and truly fucked. Divorce rates are around 50%. And for second marriages, divorce rates are around 70%. That should be enough to let you know that marriages don't mean squat if the relationships aren't built on good foundations to begin with. Did you know that a woman only needs to be with a man for 5 years before they will be entitled to half of everything he's ever worked for? Mate, you've been hoodwinked. I mean, can you imagine this happen in business, where if you and your business partner decided to part ways, your business partner would be able to take half of everything you had and the courts would be heavily in their favour? Would you get into business with anyone if it was like that? Hell no! It's just another tool used to keep you trapped in responsibility and fear, when really, it's all unnecessary. You shouldn't need a binding contract for you to do the right thing in your relationship. At the end of the day, if you and your partner are happy, there's no legal contract that's going to make a damn difference to your relationship. So when you're down on one knee, don't forget that.
Well, marriage was designed as a permanent arrangement, but society has shifted to a point where that's often no longer what marriage is. Many people argue that marriage leads to financial burdens, loss of freedom, and autonomy. It also has societal pressure. Supporters claim that marriage provides emotional support, commitment, stability, and personal growth. Naturally, I feel marriage is a scam because you lose a lot of things, especially on freedom and financial burdens. It's not everyone who is like you can find financial stability in marriage, but most of the people, I feel, they find financial burdens. And guys, thank you so much for being part of this conversation. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share the video. See you in the next video and stay safe.